The Prison City Podcast will be starting shortly. Please take a moment to acknowledge the following sponsors of the Prison City Podcast, the best podcast on planet Earth. Prison Pizza. Come on down for the best pizza you've ever had in your entire fucking life. Every pizza has been made perfectly every single time, has been delivered in perfect time, and it has the perfect price point with the perfect amount of toppings and the perfect amount of sauce. There's never ever been a single pizza in the history of Prison Pizza that's not anything short of fucking perfect. Come on down to Prison Pizza, check out our salad bar too, and 406-846-4800 Prison Pizza for life. Fuck you. The Adventures of Pete and Kit, folks, is now available on YouTube for free. It's the all-time, old-fashioned classic about two brothers living in northern Idaho that just get into all kinds of fun and trouble. Tons of fun. It was written by Matthew and Kelly Cutler, official members of Prison Fuck Me, and Patrick Cutler edited and produced it. The Adventures of Pete and Kit. More fucks and F words than you can imagine. Just search The Adventures of Pete and Kit on YouTube.com or look up the Cutler Brothers Production YouTube page and find The Adventures of Pete and Kit there. It's really, really fucking funny. Das Fruit Improv Comedy, possibly the best and funniest improv comedy team on planet Earth, is looking for new bookings for the 2022 season. Go to dasfruit.com if you want to book the funniest fucking improv team on motherfucking planet Earth. Das Fruit. If it's not funny, then at least you'll get offended. What are we looking at here, Bob? Oh, nothing, Pete. Just the best fucking pizza you'll ever have in your entire fucking life. Prison Pizza, 406-4 something. I don't fucking care. Prison Pizza. Hi, I'm the local dentist here in Deer Lodge, Montana. There's a dick on my face, isn't there? Fuck Pat Cutler, he's nothing but a sexist piece of shit. Fuck that guy. Mad Dad, the family-friendly comedy that everyone sits around every Easter and watches. It was originally written by Kelly Cutler, directed and edited by Patrick Cutler, and stars Matthew Cutler, Martin Reinbold, who just got out of prison, and a couple other people. Mad Dad, a good old family-friendly comedy that can now be found on Amazon Prime. Search Mad Dad and you'll just laugh your fucking balls off. It also stars Prison City Podcast member Mahomes, who currently lives in Omaha, Nebraska. So let's go Cornhuskers, yeah! Ladies out there, I now present you a picture of God himself. Say one more fucking thing about Prison Pizza, and let's see what happens.
I understand there's no good segue from what he just said.
Just be professional, text me back whenever I message you, show me your tits.
Once again, there it goes.
This disease or that disease or aliens coming down and taking over.
No shit.
I got hot milk in my area wanting to bang.
Sexual experience.
You don't know Pat well enough. I can see how someone might be like, fuck this guy. Why is he saying that to me?
Oh no, she's out.
Gee, what the fuck?
But we are certainly not back on track.
No, you guys are acting like you couldn't hear a word I was saying.
He told me I shouldn't park in a handicapped spot, and that was his response.
Oh, then I think maybe I can't with you, man. You can't tell me that you're all pissed at someone when you hit him with that stuff.
And this all happened in 10 minutes? No wonder she got offended.
Did you just yes and that shit? Yes and?
They're so fucking worthless.
Welcome to the Prison City Podcast. When the bars go up, you're officially locked in.
Welcome to the Prison City Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We got a banger of a show here for you this afternoon. We had to change times this week because of the January 6th hearings. Just kidding. Those are a fucking joke, as everybody knows. So we actually had a schedule conflict with Mahomes. He's not available this week. And then we have Shawshank Redemption is actually opening at Cutler Brothers Theater this weekend, starting Friday at 7:30 p.m. So check that out. And then we have our annual Junior Buzzards camping trip coming up starting on Sunday. So I'm not sure about next week. Mahomes might actually miss the next two episodes. But yeah, that's what we're doing here this afternoon, and this is going to be a great show here today. Talking Shawshank Redemption. That's coming up. Cutler Brothers, like I said, January 6th, riots. The hearings are going on now, or actually the 2020 riots of 2020. I'm going to tap on that a little bit. And yeah, so welcome to today's show. And Matt, why don't you kick things off for us since Mahomes not here?
Yes, we got Shawshank this weekend. It's going good so far. Kelly's down there working on the set today. Sent me some pictures. I'm going to go actually down to the theater after this podcast and check it out. But so far, it's coming great. If anyone's listening and you're in town, come to the show. It runs all pretty much the next couple months or so.
So yeah, on stage last night we had a pretty good rehearsal, and yeah, Kenny. I'm not sure if it was just Kenny who put it together, but the reveal at the end is really good now. Kelly with the reveals the cell with the hole in it at the end actually looks pretty cool right now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was working on actually to fix that hole, the problems that we were talking about there. But this is nice to be here on the Prison City Podcast in broad daylight. So you can see kind of it's a beautiful day. This is now my new office here, and where I used to have sex with my wife is now my office. And I'm drinking for the first time on the Prison City Podcast. I am drinking coffee since it is 2:30 in the afternoon. Thought it was a little too early to crack a beer, but maybe no more.
Yeah. How about you, Matt? You drink anything yet? I'm just drinking Miller Lite.
It is tradition.
Yeah. So here, I'm going to share a shot actually as Kelly's talking about that. There's actually downtown Deer Lodge right now. It's super sunny. It's our first sunny day in a while, actually. Beautiful day here, outside Redgate Studios here, Prison City Podcast Studios. There's a FedEx vehicle across the way. It's kind of fun. I look out my window here every day and see random people stop by. Steve Owens actually just passed by with his Rialto posters. So, yeah, there's a car pulling up right now. Huh. So, anyways, yeah, that's downtown Duro's beautiful day here. First one we've had in a long freaking time. So,
well, is the cast list up for Sweeney Todd? Is that up in the box office?
Yeah, the cast list. If you were at Sweeney Todd, the cast list is up. Surprisingly, yeah, Matt, your fiance, future wife, is in that. I didn't know she was going to be in it. Here's some person. She's going to the liquor store. There she is, Matt. I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah. Bring it home.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's enough of that. So, yeah, the cast list is up for Sweeney Todd, and I think it's going to be a really good cast. I've checked out all the names on it. I think it's going to be a really solid cast. And anyone wants to come down and check that out, see if you're in Sweeney Todd. But Matt, if you want to just kind of kick this off for us tonight, and just start talk a little bit about Shawshank Redemption and everything here.
Okay, yeah, like I said, it starts this Friday and will run basically until the mid of July. So if you want to see a show, primarily they're on the weekends, but we have a couple random Thursday shows in there. Couple Sunday random shows, but yeah, so we got I think we decided on doing this. I didn't really push it, I guess I'd say, as director. I was more or less like, oh, this would be a cool show to do, and there's actually a play version of this. So I was like, okay, well, let's Kelly's like, well, let's just do it this summer then. And I think I didn't really get excited about doing this show until I came back from Salt Lake City on a trip, and we started listening to the music on the soundtrack of this, and I was like, man, this could really be good on stage. And it's just crazy how we were talking last night, me and Kelly, it's just crazy how quick it's come up. Shit, we got a show this Friday, and it feels like, God, it's like, where's a couple past weeks been of rehearsal, It just feels like, man, we just all of a sudden just flash forward to here. It's just crazy how quick time is moving.
Yeah, crazy, huh, Kelly? You play the Warden Norton in the show, and what do you think about this production?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an awesome production. Like Matt says, we have the all-star Yankee cast, so we should just be hitting home run after home run with the 12 or 13 people we have on stage. Everyone's pretty darn well experienced, It's just an awesome professional cast. The Warden part I thought would be fun. He's obviously a crook for anybody that knows the show. And I just got done playing Tevye and Fiddler on the Roof, so I knew that I definitely would want something a little bit lighter, and the Warden's a little bit lighter of a part than that. But it's a great role. Me and Zane Cosby played the bad guys, and yeah, we kind of tag team the show because he seems to have most of the lines between us in the first half, and then I have most of the lines in the second half, and his character kind of disappears a little bit. So it's gonna rock and roll. Show opens on Friday. I hope that people come out and give it a shot. The set's freaking awesome. Like, I wish we could leave it up all summer long. We are in Prison City, obviously, Prison City Podcast. So this might be a show that we consider doing every summer in the future, maybe at a different location, but there's no reason this show couldn't kill it in this town every single summer.
Yeah, and I agree 100% with that. Actually, since we are live, we don't have Mahogany here. You guys want to do a personal tour here really quick of the set? I can take my camera in there really quick and show it off.
Oh, nice. That'd be cool.
Why don't you guys go ahead and talk? I'm going to go next door to the theater, and you guys go ahead and talk while I share this.
Okay. So,
oh, there we go.
There's our box office there, for those of you that are watching. And, yeah, we've been working our asses off on that set. How do you think the show's coming, Matt? As the show's director, it's Matt's third directorial debut.
Yeah, I guess when I picked up the director role, like I said, I kind of knew, or I had the puzzle pieces kind of in place already with Marquise and Stewart and Kelly and
there's Kenny right there.
He's always working.
Yep, Kenny's one of our big special effects set guys, and anytime we have a question of well, how are we going to pull this off? How are we going to do this this gag or this prank or this special effect? We always turn it over to Kenny, and he's come up with some brilliant shit in the past.
Yeah, no, he has, and this was all basically. If you saw Fiddler, Fiddler on the Roof, we just transformed. That's the roof of the house right there. We transformed that into prison with the barbed wire on top. There's our cell blocks, couple cells right there. Fun fact, those are actually from the original discount video. Those are left over for us when we bought the building. We just spray painted them black, and so they used to hold old VHS tapes and movies and shit.
Yeah, and what you just saw there was the hole that I was talking about at the beginning of the podcast. We've been having a little bit of trouble trying to figure out how to make that last scene really climactic because everyone knows the movie and what happens and stuff, so you can't just ignore that, right? I don't think a sound effect or whatever does it justice. So I got some styrofoam down there, cut it out, painted it up, made it look like a hole into nothingness, and I think the gag is going to be really, really badass. Oh, there goes Pat.
You probably had to go take a shit or get dinner like normal.
Well, I don't know how his setup is, but I think his mic's over in his office, and now the video's over in the theater.
Yeah.
Now, what's going on here with this Kenny guy? I figured I'd leave the camera up and go to make sure he's doing the right work.
Yeah, we were talking about Kenny for a while, how he comes up with all the special effects and anything that we struggle to, have an imagination with or whatever. He's always there.
Yeah, he's working there in the theater right now. Maybe we'll have a live Shawshank cam as we continue today. What's he putting together there right now, Kelly? Can you explain that to our audience?
Yeah, he's so we got like 2 doorways there. It's again the same set that we use for Fiddler, but we basically painted it differently and made it look like a prison. So he's working on the front gate of the prison. He went and got some PVC pipe and put that together. He's really smart when it comes to stuff like that, and he's really creative. But he was pretty pissed because one PVC pipe used to be $2 something cents, he said. And he said because of inflation, now each of those PVC pipes is $7.
Holy shit!
So that
look
used
at
to
that.
be that used to be an $8 gate, and now it's over a $30 gate. So
Jeez,
we really need you guys to buy tickets so we can eat tonight.
That gate looks badass. Look at that fucking thing, man.
I know. So that we'll definitely have to like spray paint that or paint it or something because it looks blue like the bars.
Yeah, it's not painted yet.
Oh, okay. Okay, I thought at one point he was going to use them actual, heavy ass metal bars they found.
Well,
Yeah.
he considered that, yeah.
Just
Now, for the ladies out there, is Kenny currently available? Would you say?
Yeah, Kenny's very single. He's ripe for the picking. He's only in his 50s, and his lower half, you'd think he was still in his 20s.
Yeah, Kenny helps out with Das Fruit and a lot of productions, and he's one of the original investors of Prison Pizza. And look at him go to work. Heidi ho, go Kenny,
Yeah.
go.
And we are good friends with him, so nobody be offended that we're doing a podcast while the Mexican's doing all the work.
And he has no idea we're filming them.
And he has no idea we're filming him. What if Kenny turned around and, like, started jerking off or something?
God, he's going high first. You think he should be going high with those screws right now, or should he start somewhere in the middle?
I think he should just be getting high right now.
Oh, now he's going down the lower part. This door is going to be really interesting to see how this comes out.
This would be a weird movie. Like, he just commits some crime right here, like he fucking assaults someone or murders someone while we're on the podcast.
someone comes in, starts giving him shit, fucking kills him with a drill or something.
He's like, he started giving me shit, so I killed him in the tasty bitch he was with.
Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, man. Now that looks fucking cool.
Oh, looks like it's not staying in there, Kenny. Might have to readjust some things.
Yeah, so we'll paint that door up tonight and be ready to go. Dress rehearsals tomorrow night.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to go grab that. You guys go ahead and talk for a little bit. I'm just going to grab my phone really quick, and I'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah, we're actually doing the full show tonight. And Kelly made the comment. I'm pretty sure we could open tonight, which I guess we could, but as far as like the director, overseer, I like it that we have the extra nights to rehearse.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying, theoretically, if we wanted to open, we probably could.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Theoretically.
Yeah, no, and I really put the ball in the actor's court. I mean, like like Marquise, like I say, and Stewart, and yourself, me, Dan Mitchum playing Boggs. He played Marv in Home Alone, and he might be reprising that role. We'll see here. You got Louis Savala. He's solid. He really broke out as a kid actor, and he's one that really stuck with it, which it's cool. Most kids think it's by the time they hit junior high that they're going to be the next LeBron James. So it's basketball, whatever. Can't even say football anymore. Not in this town.
Well, luckily the Deer Lodge sports circuit sucks ass, so you kind of have to do something else to keep your peace of mind, like theater. A manly sport like theater.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of people like in our shows that I initially thought for this one, most of them said they either had stuff to do or were saving themselves for Sweeney Todd or something like that. But on the flip side, I was like, man, this would be, if you want to do a show with the least amount of drama and probably the least work you have to put into it. You don't have to learn songs and dance numbers and all this bullshit and deal with all these people. It's like, if you wanted to do a show and not have the huge ass commitment as some of these musicals do, you should have signed up for Shawshank, but
Yeah. No, that's been kind of a the common thing with our theater throughout the generations. It's just the musicals have always been a lot of work. I mean, a lot of people come and see them and stuff, but the straight show is really where you can sit back and relax and really, I think that's where you find out who you are as an actor is in those straight shows. Honestly,
I think so. Yeah, you look at like Glenn Ross, and like you, Matt, Marquise has been here a long time, carried most of that show. Then I had my big monologue at the beginning, but yeah, I think your talents as an actor and everything are much more fully displayed in these straight shows where you have to do a lot of really good acting to bring it out instead of just these little musicals. Just say these little fucking fairy ass fucking songs every 2 seconds. Pretty much anything they can do.
Yeah. I mean, I like it all, but yeah, the straight shows are definitely less work and more enjoyable. I was thinking about that, like when we first started our theater down at the prison. That's how it was every year. It was like, okay, we're gonna start with this. It was a straight show, and then it was the big musical, and it was over with by 4th of July or whatever. The rest of the summer was literally just original shit, an original show and comedy nights. That's all it ever was.
How did we even we opened up early then, because if we had the straight show was open by the straight show ran for 2 or 3 weeks, was done by like Territorial Day weekend almost.
Mm-hmm.
And then musical must have ran for like 2 weeks. But yeah, we opened that straight show early in the summer. Like it was.
Well, we ran shows Thursday through Sunday, so I think most shows down at the prison only ran for 2 weeks. I think it was 8 shows total, unless like of the Sing we did 2 times on Sundays.
Well, the first, except for that year with the 3-man show, we did that for like 3 weekends. And I think the Dork Meets Paul we did for 3 weekends.
Yeah, I mean, some of them we did. I guess just in general, it was like a 2-week Thursday through Sunday. But yeah, it was interesting.
And we used to start our shows at 8 o'clock. I got this blanket that one of my friend's moms made me for my high school graduation. Took all my old shirts and cut them up, put them on this Afghan. And the Singing in the Rain, one of our first seasons is on there. And got all these, it's different dates and all this crap. Like you said, we're running shows from Thursdays to Sundays. But our shows typically started at 8 o'clock. It says 8 o'clock on there. Which
yeah, I remember like Lee Silman actually complaining that we're starting at 8 o'clock and not 7:30. Which is interesting. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I agree with the 7:30 thing, but now people are trying to move back to frickin' 7 o'clock. I mean, like, where do you stop? Okay, we're gonna start our shows at 4 in the afternoon now.
Like some of those baseball games now, they're doing some weird ass fucking Dodgers playing at 5 o'clock Pacific and Pirates playing at 4 o'clock on a Saturday. It's just like weird as hell. It's like, what are you doing? Yeah. But I was gonna say, we have Territorial Days weekend is coming up this weekend. A lot of stuff going on here in Deer Lodge, and then the roast of Matt Cutler is June 30th. I mean, Jesus, we're like fucking 15 days away from that. Which,
God shit.
I think I've kind of had that roast. I don't know about you, Cal. I've had that roast probably circled on my calendar for a while. I just think it's going to be wild. This last year's been pretty fucking wild. I think that's going to be a wild fucking roast.
Yeah, it's going to be fun as shit. I tend to I try not to like think about it too much until we're maybe a week out or a few days out. It just seems like it's easier for me to write and shit when I'm under the gun. Like, hey, I got to get this done. But if I write it too early, then I'm like going back and going, okay, I don't like this joke. It's getting old just because I've seen it for 2 months now or whatever.
Well, this one,
but yeah, it's gonna rock.
The cast has changed so much. I actually started writing my roasts a long time ago, like 6-8 months ago or something like that. I'm not even joking. But I've had to change a lot of the jokes, not only because people have changed, but a lot of jokes I started around. I was like, I liked that when I first did it, and now it's like, I don't really like that as much anymore. But now I have to rewrite a lot of stuff because we have totally different people in it than we had like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Right, Matt?
It's all about delivery of your jokes. I guess that's another thing. I write jokes down, but if I do write them early, I don't look at them again. Cause then I will get like that. Oh, is that funny? Or is that not? The crowd likes it. But sometimes you're stupid as shit, as long as it's delivered well, goes over the best. And sometimes you have like your best joke of the night, you're gonna say it about someone, and you fuck up one word, then it just completely goes down to shit.
I don't know about you, I think going into a roast, and this is what I get excited. I agree with Matt and things where you start thinking so much about these fucking jokes and stuff, because roast is so borderline where it's like you're insulting somebody, but you don't have to be funny, but you're not sure. So it's like, it's almost like the less you think about it, it's almost like improv, where you got to go out there and say, okay, I'm going to write this entire roast. If the whole thing fucking bombs, who cares? I'm just going to do it because you don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the point of a roast is to insult people, and I just think if it makes you laugh, if you're like, oh yeah, this is funny, and you got to think of the other person too. Like, if I say this, is this going to make this person laugh, or is it going to piss them off? And then on top of it, it's like you can almost say anything as long as you do it with confidence. But if you have it in your voice or in your what's that called? Like the way that you present the joke.
Oh, tonality.
Yeah, if it's like in the back of your mind, like, oh, okay, this is really going to piss this person off, that's going to bleed through whether you want it or not. So I would just get rid of all those jokes and just do ones that you're comfortable saying in a way that you think that the person that you're saying it about will laugh. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you could say anything if you're clearly like just joking about it, if you can get to that point.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why I've messed around a lot with my tonality where it's like, okay, this, because I want to push those barriers just like everybody else does. Because if you don't, then someone else is going to trash you. But you want to do it in a way where it's like, okay, I need to have this in a character where the tonality doesn't bleed through as being like vindictive or whatever.
Well,
yeah.
Some people on that roast too, they quote unquote, I guess in a way, ask for, like Matt Freeze. Like he'll talk shit the entire time and the blah blah blah. So he's one I don't mind just pitching shit on. Jim Cameron's the same way because of how he is in real life. He's always pitching shit on people. You know what I'm saying? So some of these people, I guess it's easy to, I guess, be on the more, not necessarily mean side, but say more inappropriate things to them because just the way they are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how you normally talk to them. That's how they fucking talk to you and shit.
Well, it should be like, I always say this about a roast. For the audience to laugh and be comfortable, it should all come across like we're hating each other. But obviously, we could do this to someone's face. Like if we're just standing in a circle after rehearsal or whatever, you could say these jokes and nobody would fucking get all butthurt or whatever. Because the second someone gets butthurt on the stage, it kind of ruins it for what we're trying to bring about in the show. And the audience feels that too. We don't want them to feel tension. We want them to go, oh, that's funny, and everyone's having a good job. So when I go into a roast, I'm like, I don't care what they say about me, even if I don't think it's funny. I'm going to laugh and try to have the best time possible because that shows the audience that they can be comfortable laughing at me and anybody else,
Yeah, and that's what I talk about. And you've talked about too, is like playing characters on stage and things. And that's what we've told people in the past. I want to emphasize that with a group of roasters too. Is like you can play a character. There's no dress code. You can be whatever you want to be. You can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. And it's almost easier when you play a character like who's the one that you said, Matt, that you kind of wanted to act like, not Will Ferrell, but the other guy, the coach,
John Hader.
Yeah, John Hader. So if you come out and you got sunglasses on and you're this character, it's almost easier to
Bill Hader, not John Hader.
Yeah, it's almost easier to get away with saying shit because you're, it's not Pat Cutler anymore. It's like this asshole character. Hey, look at this fucking douchebag,
Oh, it's just like on TikTok when I play like Napoleon or whatever. People like take it as a joke. Like I can say whatever the fuck I want to say. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah. Did you actually eat that raw egg? I was gonna ask.
Yeah, I did actually.
Oh, that's fucking nasty, man.
I didn't eat the whole thing, but yeah, I did actually eat part of it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I watch those Napoleon videos and I'm trying to watch them from a third-party perspective, like I'm not your brother and I don't fucking know you. Because then they're actually like way funnier to me. It's like if I didn't know this person, but like the one where, like when your girlfriend says no to sex or something, and you're like, Do whatever I want to. Gosh. At first, I was like, "Ooh, I shouldn't have gone there." But then I was like, I don't really get offended by anything. So if that was just a random Napoleon, a person acting like Napoleon, and they said that, I'd probably laugh my fucking ass off. I'm like, Jesus.
I feel like in TikTok, it's weird. Like you can't say like sex on TikTok. It's certain things they'll just ban you for, but you can find workarounds for almost anything. That's what's nice. If you're super creative and done theater and stuff, you can find a workaround for anything, and it's actually more funny when you find the workaround than actually using slur words and stuff sometimes.
Well, that's what I was going to say too. This is kind of going off on a different topic, but I put a Comedy Night 49 advertisement on the back of the playbills for Shawshank. So that's coming up in August. So I think we should challenge ourselves, because I think we've gotten a little bit, and it's all of us, we've gotten a little bit lazy with the sex, fuck, blah, blah, blah. I think we should challenge ourselves this Comedy Night just to like clean it up. Not a ton, but just clean it up a little bit to where it was maybe like 10 years ago or something. Because then you're forced to be like, I was thinking of some stupid sketch. Marissa was cutting my hair, and then she's like, whoops. She kept saying stuff like a barber shouldn't say. I was like, that'd be a funny sketch just to hear a barber like say all this shit. Like, oh, can't fix that. Well, that's fucked. Well, not that, not that line. But,
you're talking about it.
yeah, shit like that is like more PG-13. I think we should all challenge ourselves to write that way for Comedy Night 49, which is in August. I'm not saying you can't say fuck, but I'm just saying maybe pull it back where it's not as in your face as Das Brute is, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you can do a lot of funny, suggestive stuff that's over the top, but not actually like say it.
I think we should have a tier where like Das Brute is no holds bar, whatever. Certain people like that. Comedy Night, we used to do it, was like the next tier where it was like PG-13. You might hear a fuck once or twice, but it's not every skit. And then then after that, it's just the straight shows and then the musicals, blah, 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 kids camp. So I think we should maybe get back to that tier. Who knows? Maybe we'd be able to pull some more people in. But then again, if you're offended by something, you're probably offended by really stupid shit too. Like if we say shit on stage, oh, never going again,
Yeah.
Well, did you hear my idea, what I want to do with Das Brute?
No.
What?
So I want to do a Das Brute show at the Montana bar and make it 100% G-rated. If you do cuss, you get 3 strikes. 3 strikes, you're out until either intermission or the end of the show. Or if you do get 3 strikes, you have to go out and collect $5 from the audience to donate, and you get back in for 1 more strike. I think it'd be freaking hilarious. You'd do it at the Montana bar, which would be extra hard because of the people that go to those shows and what they shout out.
What?
Well, I was just gonna say, Matt missed the Dylan show. We did that kid show, and I thought it was pretty freaking funny, and obviously we had to keep that like G-rated.
Yeah, my worst stuff, I would say, at the Butte show didn't even involve cuss words. It's just subjective jokes about things or whatever.
Right. Yeah, no, it's I just thought I'd bring that up because I started advertising Comedy Night, and I was like, you know what? Might as well try to get back to the roots where we develop more stories and shit, and I guess don't rely so heavily on like Das Brute level jokes. So anyways, just start something to think about, because that's not for 2 months. So
yeah, exactly.
So anyways, moving along here, let's go with the actual topic of today. You have this the January 6th riots, or not riots, sorry, the whatever you want to incursion, where they stormed the Capitol and everything. Everyone knows what I'm talking about at this point. You have the whole hearings going on, and I'm going to cover this like I cover everything. It's like the freedom of speech has gotten so fucking stupid anymore. What you can freely say, and the hypocrisy of these narratives make no fucking sense. And I just want to skip right to I don't know if you guys are following this. Jack Del Rio in the NFL got in trouble because he came out and he said, I'll just go into I'll share a screen here. He came out, and this literally makes no fucking sense. He got fined $100,000. Ron Rivera did a good job of trying to depoliticize it and say, well, it's a distraction to the team, blah, blah, blah. But basically what he said was he came out and said that January 6th was a dust-up because they asked about why they weren't talking about the riots of 2020 and said that the January 6th storming the Capitol was just a dust-up, and people lost their fucking shit over it. He got fined $100,000. It's like, so I just don't understand this shit. Someone could explain this to me. So you can't say that the January 6th storming the Capitol was a dust-up, but you can say that buildings burning to the ground, 25 people dying, 62,000 National Guard personnel people were put out in the streets. You can call that peaceful protests.
Yeah, I mean, we all agree on this panel. I don't fucking get it at all. I'm 100% behind the freedom of speech. Zane and I had this conversation the other day about like jokes you can say on stage and stuff like that. I'm like, well, I don't think anything should be off the table. Now you do have to deal with like consequences of what you say, but it shouldn't be off the table. Like you should literally be able to say anything you want in public, on stage, wherever. The only shitty thing is you got these giant corporations and the fucking NFL, this giant nonprofit, which is as stupid, probably dumber than churches being nonprofits, the NFL. And
that's no longer a nonprofit. They switched it.
Okay, well that's okay.
Hey, we got someone checking out the audition. Should I go film her?
Who is it?
Oh no, it's Eden. She went and checked it out. She just left. I didn't know that they were posting the auditions right now. So right during the Prison City podcast, the Sweeney Todd audition, people are coming up and going.
Can they see you in there?
No. Well, they really looked. I could have ran up to the door and like knocked on it or whatever.
Oh.
But anyways, yeah.
I was just saying, it doesn't even matter if it's not a nonprofit. That's not the point. The point is like these giant corporations, just giant entities in the United States that kind of can make their own rules. I mean, they should play by a different set of rules. The NFL, Walmart, Costco, all these places should play by a different set of rules. Not the ones they're playing by now, but a harsher set of rules because what small business, like Prison Pizza, for example, what if we went out and said, oh, you don't believe what I believe, on the January 6th insurrection? Like you think the opposite of me? Well, you're fucking fired or I'm going to cut half your pay. You would get sued so fucking hardcore if you did that. But the NFL and these giant corporations do it all the time and just get away with it.
That's because they can blackball people out of the league. That's why they get away with it. But this my problem is like what you're alluding to is like, how can liberals? This is what pisses me off more than any political group in history. Liberals have to be the dumbest people on planet Earth. I don't think there's any debate at that point. How can liberals basically be so anti-freedom of speech, not open-minded at all to anybody who has a different opinion, and they're doing this in supporting 100% a capitalistic system that they supposedly are against? Because you know why you can't say those things, Kelly? You alluded to right there. Because of fucking business. Money. That's all it's about, you dumbasses. It's fucking money, you idiots. You're supporting the capitalist system by fucking agreeing to boycott, you morons. You're supporting these multi-billion-dollar corporations by agreeing that people can't speak freely. Because why can't they speak freely? Because of fucking money, you idiots. It's like, how fucking hard is that to get?
They don't even know what they believe. Honestly, they don't even know what they believe.
Well, going to the whole shut up and play narrative, because I think Trump said that to LeBron James, like, oh, just shut up and play basketball. And, oh my God, that's the most offensive thing you could ever say to a professional billionaire basketball player. But I was saying, so with the NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, whatever corporation, I'm saying, you can tell them to shut up, just do your job, show up every freaking day. But no, they got to push this platform, which I think Pat's right. Like 100% of major sports pushes the liberal platform. And that's not a political question I'm throwing out there. I was just saying that's the truth. You know, they always push whatever narrative is, you know, out in America right now. But you also think, okay, it's like, okay, you say respect women and end racism, all this shit, blah blah blah, Black Lives Matter, all this shit. But then when something happens with one of their players, like he kills someone or beats the fuck out of some chick or whatever, and they accept him back, and now he's playing again. You're like, well, wait a second, how is this? This is kind of being hypocritical of everything you stood for if you're letting this particular person play your sport, yet you're saying don't do this. But he's good because guess what? Performance outweighs fucking everything.
It does, and that's the same thing. I was watching the. If you guys haven't checked it out, there's a Warren Jeffs Netflix special. It's really freaking interesting how he got away with it for so long. But yeah, look at Deshaun Watson. Look at him now at this point. It's pretty clear the guy is a serial rapist. He is a serial sexual assaulter, however you want to call that. You know, and he's gonna fucking suit up probably week 1 in the NFL, and they're like, well, you know, he's really good at football, so whatever.
Yeah, it's like the Scott Cutler syndrome, you know. Well, as long as he's playing for Dallas, I don't care what he did. Turn a blind eye.
I know. It's like if Deshaun Watson was a regular citizen, he'd be in fucking prison for life.
Like, yeah, if he was like a backup quarterback or something, definitely, but no.
Up to fucking 26 accusations now, and you can't get a criminal case against him? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, it's insane, man. I was thinking of I can't think of the exact context of it, but there was a meme floating around. I just thought of this earlier about when you were talking about how dumb liberals are, but talking about the gas prices, you know. Now everyone, you know, the left is blaming like these greedy CEOs. It's so funny. It's like, oh, so either the layperson, the middle class economists, you know, were right about, you know, inflation for the last couple of years and they predicted it correctly, or the other scenario is that CEOs just decided to become greedy overnight. It's like such a fucking joke. It's like, oh, really? Is that why gas prices are so high? Because fucking CEOs of the oil companies just, you know, 6 months ago went, yeah, I'd like a bigger paycheck. It just doesn't make any sense.
No, and this is why I wish I would have taken all my money and invested in oil back in 2020, because it went to like fucking record lows, almost not record lows per barrel because that's impossible, but it went to like record lows for like the last like 15 years for a cost per barrel of oil, and now it's at record highs. So you imagine the fucking money you would have made off of that. We have been down this road so many times with the gas prices. It's not really the president. It's not, you know, corporations. It's speculation. It's all these other factors that play into like geopolitics and all these things that, quite honestly, nobody really has some ultimate control over.
Right. Well, it's a trickle-down system. I mean, we were just talking about this with one of our businesses yesterday. It's like, if it's going to cost us, you know, an extra $10 to do A, then we're going to pass that on to the consumer, the customer. You know, they're going to be paying that. We're not paying the 10 fucking bucks. Well, you do that on a national or international level. I mean, I'm surprised the gas prices aren't fucking higher than they are already, honestly.
Oh yeah, and I expect them to go up to 6 for sure, but I don't know where it's going to end. It's kind of crazy, but you have to look back though. When Bush came out of office, when was that? 2008 was it? Oh, when Bush, yeah, Obama won.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. They were double almost what they had been. Like they had jumped up like $4 or whatever. So they were almost double. So you have to look at what double would be today, and yeah, it kind of makes sense, I guess, in some way. But it's pretty crazy. But you should check. Let's just check out. I don't even know what this fucking January 6th House Select Committee. All I see it is a gigantic fucking political stunt that nobody gives a fuck about, because only people care about is the economy and their fucking gas prices and everything else. But somehow Democrats are pushing this investigation into the Capitol 6 riots. Tact was inspired by Donald Trump's false claims of stolen 2020 election. I dispute that, but I guess we can on this podcast because it's illegal on YouTube. was a culmination of attempts to overturn the election, which Trump lost to Biden. Theoretically, he lost. The committee announced it has enough evidence to recommend the Justice Department indict Trump. They have argued Trump knew he did not win, thus perpetrating Friday. It was referred to a criminal conspiracy to. Okay, bottom line, what the committee is formed through large party vote line July 1st. Liz Cheney were the only 2 House Republicans to serve on the committee, and the Republican National Committee eventually censured them for their participation. Good for them. By May 22, this more than 1,000 people. So what is the goal of this fucking committee? Can anybody tell me what is the goal? Like, what is the fucking goal here?
It's to keep their hooks in the 10% of the fucking population that still watches CNN and still believes this horse shit. That's all it is. Like, it's so transparent nowadays. We all have people like on Facebook that you see that are still just hardcore. I'll just call them fucking liberals, hardcore left liberals that believe this shit. They believe the news. They believe all this stuff that's coming out. And I'm just like, man, what's it going to take? I don't think they'll ever open their eyes to what's actually going on. So this is just another stunt to go, Trump's the bad guy. And if he ever runs for re-election, this is just another stunt. So to give you ammunition as to why not to vote for him, but people are opening their fucking eyes to this shit. I think a lot of people are waking up. Like, I don't even look at it anymore. It's like Harry Potter to me, the insurrection, January 6th. I'm like, not interested in fiction.
No, not interested. Who's interested in that fiction? Matt, what do you think?
Well, with everything, like Kelly's saying, they're just trying to get a rise out of people and putting together this committee. They're probably spending a shit ton of money doing this bullshit, which is going to just last forever and ever and ever because someone needs a job. I relate it to putting stop signs and making it a one-way by the school up there. So they got a one-way, Still sometimes I try to take a left up that hill, but you can't because it's a one-way now. And I was thinking, why did they change that in a one-way? Oh, because nothing ever happened there ever. And someone needs a job. So let's just make new policies to make this place more safe or blah, blah, blah. It's the same thing with this. It's just a complete bullshit group that people are taking serious when it's like, good God, we're so far away from this event now. I mean, for you to go after Trump still? I mean, fuck, almost 2 years later.
Well, if Trump wasn't a threat at all, they wouldn't have tried to make it impossible for him ever to run again. They wouldn't be forming these committees. They feel so fucking threatened, the establishment does, by all of this. They have to make up all this bullshit. So current Republican Adam Kinzinger from Illinois, in response to the committee, said, "Who gives a shit?"
Yeah, it's such a fucking joke. I can't wait till we're grandparents and you got all our grandkids around and like we had World War II and the war in Vietnam and all this shit. Are we really going to set aside, holidays and shit for Insurrection Day and 9/11, all this shit that we just know is complete bullshit? It's like, what kind of fairy tale fucking land are we living in?
I know. That's what I'm saying. The scary thing is we got people on social media. This is beyond, Republicans, Democrats. This is people just so weak-minded these days. People are getting offended by things on Snapchat and Facebook. It's like, you fucking idiots. We got China on the doorstep of the U.S. I'm not saying that China's not invading anything, but China's going to be taking over the fucking world, and you morons are worried about political correctness on Facebook. It's point blank insane. That's the thing I do like about TikTok is TikTok gives you more leeway on a lot of things because why it's owned by China. But people are like, oh, don't want to go to China because TikTok's owned. Well, China's taking over the fucking world, you dumbass.
Well, right now we're still the Roman Empire. I just hope that I really hope I die before we're not the Roman Empire.
Oh, yeah. But China's playing the fucking long game, and the U.S. is worried about political saying the correct words, and words hurt people's feelings, and we need to make words illegal. That's where the U.S. is right now.
We're such a me first country. Me first. You better make sure I'm, happy with what you call me and all this shit and what I am or supposed to be.
Yeah, it's really fucking sad, honestly. I mean, I like to think that the U.S. is as strong I don't think it's as strong as it's ever been, obviously, but I'd like to think that these people we're talking about are such a minuscule part of society that they act like that's the United States, but I just hope that it's really not, because if we go to war with like communist China versus Antifa, let's say, it's not even a fucking contest, you know. It's really fucking scary, honestly.
There's this guy I was listening on TikTok, and he's like, put 100 conservatives, 100 Republicans in a ring against 100 Democrats, and who are you picking to win? He's like, who are you betting on? Yeah, it's not even close.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And again, I hope that it's just media over bloating of like, this is what America is now. I really hope it is, because I don't think it is. You know, you don't like Matt and I went out to Seattle a couple weeks ago, or you went to Pittsburgh and stuff. I'm like, where is all these fucking blue-haired douchebags that are burning down buildings and, you know, fighting for these people's rights that have as many rights as you and I do right now, you know? Where are they? Because like even in Seattle, we were there for 3 days. I'm like, everyone looks like normal Americans here. So what the fuck's the variable that's making me think otherwise? It's the fucking media. You know?
Yeah, and I think media, at least in my opinion, is more and more discredited. Like, it's nowadays it's hard to watch like news and shit. I like watching the local news, but still, like national media is just God. Better to stay away from it. I mean, you should be in the know of what's going on, but like I said, you get your opinion, you get everyone's opinion on everything, because it's always, hey, gas prices are going up because of this. No, it's not because of this, it's because of this. And you got another guy, oh no, the real reason is this. Next thing you know, you don't know what the fuck to believe. So it's like,
right.
That was Kenny just walked in the office, said the door is officially done. He put some kind of slider on the door, you can open and close it in that prison.
Oh, nice.
Shawshank, so
Go Kenny.
yeah. No, but
yeah.
So yeah, I want to go back. This is fucking interesting about this. I mean, this is where things just don't fucking make sense at all. So we had the July 6th, 5 people, there are 5 casualties in the July 6th storming of the Capitol. And that was interesting, but not as bad as 25, like the riots, like 2020 that were peaceful. This is interesting, though. After the storming of the Capitol, you had this random slew of fucking suicides and shit. Morale among the Capitol Police plummeted after the riot. The department responded to several incidents where officers threatened to harm themselves. 4 officers from various police departments who responded to the attack died by suicide. 4 died by suicide in the days and months that fall. That's fucking crazy. Capitol officer Howard Charles Liebengood died by suicide 3 days after the attack. D.C. Metro Police Officer Jeffrey Smith, who was injured in the attack, died by suicide from a gunshot wound to the head at George Washington Memorial Parkway. Former D.C. medical examiner Harper Smith's widow, that acute precipitating event that caused the death of officer was his occupational exposure to traumatic events he suffered on January 6, 2021. In the media after, some of the members of Congress and press reports include those 2 suicides and number of reported casualties for a total of 7 deaths, count on top of the 5. 2 more members lost law reports responding to the attack died by suicide. One was found on July 10th, one was found on July 29th. They're honored in a signing ceremony for a Bill Awards, Professional Medal Awards, Capitol Police on the responders. I just don't understand that. I mean, I guess I kind of understand it, but like, we've had people go to war like in Nam and come back serious trauma in like Vietnam and some of these wars, and the percentage of people that like committed suicide, suck. It's not nearly like 50% or whatever the heck this number is. It's insane. What do you think of that? It just sounds fucking crazy to me.
You want to know if something's a conspiracy? Look at facts like that. Like, people start committing suicide randomly. It's like, you hit the nail on the head. This was the insurrection in Washington, D.C. This was not fucking Vietnam. Like, you tell me that the guy with the Viking helmet, he scarred your soul so badly that you had to blow your brains out? That doesn't make any sense.
No, that makes if you feel bad for being overran, well, you were undermanned because they couldn't get the fucking people out there. Trump requested it be actually guarded by a lot of people, and he was basically told no by I can't remember who it was, but it was interesting.
Yeah, you want to know how something's a conspiracy, then you'll start seeing shit like that, like random people that would, their family says, well, I don't know, he was never seemed like he was depressed or suicidal or anything. They blow his brains out. Just like Vegas, man. They people that started talking the truth about Vegas, and they're like, well, I saw people on the ground with fucking guns shooting at us. Well, guess what? These people committed suicide or they died in a car wreck. It's like, I don't fucking buy it, man. I mean, that's maybe one in all of these tragedies or conspiracies, but not every single one of them. It's fucking ridiculous, and it's sad. I seriously think, man, there's a Cold War going on in America. I think we are at war right now with China, Russia. We're at war with somebody, and I think it's the war through the corruption of our media, the corruption of the information that's getting out to us, and more Americans are opening their eyes to it, where it's like Matt said, you can't watch the news and believe anything they say. I don't read anything. I don't watch anything because it's like, and our buddy Marquise, well, you have to check your sources. You can't even fucking check your sources. You can't even see like how corrupt the Huffington Post is or something like that. So I seriously think we're under a Cold War right now attack, and it's through our media, and it's not the war like, you're not seeing Chinese soldiers running down the streets in Chicago shooting up buildings. It's a very quiet and intelligent war that most of us don't see or understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of like Alex Jones said with his InfoWars. I always thought that was a joke, but yeah, it's an information war that we're actually under right now, and it's the spreading of disinformation and false information through mainstream media, saying things that are blatantly false, like vaccines save lives, mask saves lives, when technically you can't save a life. That's a false statement. You cannot save a life. Everybody fucking dies. The word "save lives" is a false statement. And they use that false statement to make it look like, oh, you get vaccinated or wear a mask, you're going to live for fucking ever. It's like, that's a false fucking statement.
But they, people say, well, no, the American media would never do that. And I'm like, well, yeah, I agree. We've probably been infiltrated by other countries. The spread of misinformation doesn't mean that it's Americans doing it. The Chinese government, the Russian government, they can put shit and have put shit into our media systems left and right, like we probably do to theirs as well,
100%. And that's the one reason I think places like Russia and China openly commit to propaganda, full-scale propaganda, because they don't want to be infiltrated by these fake news things and stuff. But yeah, what do you think, Matt?
I was just say, so those a lot of those people who committed suicide were police officers. They said,
yeah,
there's police officer, like that's a tough thing to swallow too, because we have an uncle, obviously, that was a police officer. I know tons of police officers who deal with shit like way worse shit than someone in a Viking helmet coming in the, to actually blow your brains out. As a police officer, you gotta think, especially in a big city, you've seen a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? And this is gonna be the one that sets you over the edge. Just doesn't make sense,
It doesn't resonate at all. I kind of said on the January 6th, whatever you want to call it, I felt like they openly just fucking let them take over the Capitol. I really did. Like, how could they possibly take over the biggest fucking capital of the most powerful government in history? How? Like, what the fuck are you doing?
It's the dumbest. It's so dumb it hurts my fucking head. I saw a video today where it was during the insurrection, and this guy in a MAGA hat was talking to like the guards out front or whatever. And he's like, aren't you going to stop these guys from breaking in the Capitol? Why are you guys just standing here? Aren't you going to stop them? So I was like, well, if he's saying that, then who's breaking in? I think maybe some people were just bystanders, but this whole fucking thing was so staged. It continues to be staged. It's just a giant fucking play, and now we're in Act 3 of it, and nobody gives a shit whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I don't think a lot of people give a shit about coronavirus either. Not to segue to that, but I think that's pretty much anytime I see anything on it, like you see this John Hopkins study why you should get boosted and all this bullshit. I like going in and reading the comments because you can see like the normal ass people in America just saying, nope, sick of your bullshit, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
People on there, you know, I save lives and all this crap and blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's just, it's comedy. It's good read when you're at the shitter.
The worst is my aunt or my cousin or my grandma, they died of the coronavirus. It's like, okay, I've had several relatives die in fucking car accidents. Did I sit there and say, no, we need to shut down your entire fucking business? We need to shut down the highway. Only one car a day. No, I didn't pull that stupid moronic bullshit. Like, what are you doing?
And did you see like all these new diseases or whatever coming out? I just read something where this doctor's seen 4 cases of this something Ramsey disease, where it affects your nervous system and in your eyes, your ears, shit like that. Justin Bieber apparently has it, and this doctor says, I've seen 4 cases of this in the last month or the last 2 months. He goes, and I've never seen a case of it before that in my 32 years of practice. And every single one of these cases was vaccinated and boosted within the last couple of months. And again, I'm not going to go down those rabbit holes because they get as deep as the legitimate conspiratorial rabbit holes. But I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, these are, you know, that's fucked up. There's got to be some side effects off of something, you know, a vaccine that literally is less than 2 years old still to this day.
Oh yeah, no shit. That's why Facebook is so fucking stupid. Like one of my posts that Facebook took down, all I said is you should do your own research and check your own health before getting the vaccine. And it took the post down. Yeah,
Independent fact checkers.
I don't know, independent misinformation spreaders. As long as they put fact check next to it, you know it's false.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Every big corporation takes a liberal stance. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not all of them, but like you just see it all the time. You know, George Floyd matters or whatever. All this shit. You know, on this game I'm watching here, Black Lives Matter, whatever. It's all just takes a push this don't want to say Gen X, but push this agenda.
You should see Tom McDonald on TikTok. He's one Marissa really likes him. He kills.
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
He put out a post today just making fun of the fucking gay pride stuff all these corporations are doing. He's like, what am I, as a corporation, am I actually doing anything for gay rights? Fuck no. But I'll put big flags on our bumpers and stickers and everything because I know that'll bring me in a bunch of fucking money. It's like, yeah, no shit.
It's so ridiculous.
I just say you go to these baseball games where both teams are dressed in pride colors. It's Pride Night or whatever. And the majority of the stadium, probably most everyone in the stadium, besides that saying, are probably all straight and, you know.
Yeah.
You want us to, where's our fucking night?
Well, every night's straight night.
It's so fucking ridiculous.
If you're gay, every night's gay night, you know? That was me.
Yeah.
No, there's definitely a Cold War going on in this country. And I don't know, man, at some point, I'm not that guy, but America, you know, we put boots on the ground here. And we did it the hard way. That's why we have the freedom that we have. And sometimes you got to think, well, when do we got to get back to that? Because most of these politicians are fucking morons. You know, they probably work for China. It's like, when do we get back to like just taking this land and our country back? I'm talking about everybody. I don't give a shit about race or if you're a homosexual or whatever. I'm talking about anybody that wants freedom, taking this land back, because right now it's clearly being infiltrated. And sometimes the only way that gets through to people isn't just talking and putting a rant on Facebook, but, you know, taking taking things in your own hands. And I mean, maybe the insurrection was bullshit. I don't think it actually happened, but sometimes that's what a country has to do to take their country back, you know, a legitimate one.
You typically have the far left, like way far left, that small percentage, screaming at the very far right and all of us in between. Like, there are racists out there, there are homophobes, there are pieces of shit, you know what I'm saying? But that's, yes, there are out there. That's not everyone. Not all of us. That's a very small percentage of these fucking idiots who act out on this shit. You know what I'm saying? The rest of us are in the middle. You know, we're not racist and all this shit. Then you got the people who think the opposite way, where these fucking people represent the masses as a whole. When in reality, it's not the case at all.
No, it's probably 1%, and that's probably more than than they deserve. It's literally 99% is probably in the middle, because 1% is a lot of fucking people, and a lot of fucking people. Most people, literally 99% of people, are just like, hey, shut the fuck up. I always talk about it like if we're in high school where you're in a hallway. If there's one guy with a megaphone shouting the stupid shit, the other 100 students are just standing there going, can this guy shut the fuck up? Or they're pointing and laughing or whatever. The 1%'s that guy with the megaphone. The other 99 is just everyday working class Americans,
Oh, remember that dude at the ball game we went to? Cuts?
Yep.
Yeah, with a megaphone. And Jesus walked across the Sierra. And he's just shouting this shit out to all these people going in this professional baseball stadium. I was like, dude, you ain't convincing anyone right now. No
I saw a guy outside the fucking Rangers game doing the same thing down there in Dallas, way across the street and shit. I was okay, what the fuck's going on here? But yeah, and that's what I'm worried about. Like, TikTok is the first social media application I think is way different than other ones, where they allow more stuff on there talking about these things, like, because they understand that China understands at least that people want realism. We want real stuff, and you can't get real stuff if everybody's fucking censored from going on there and talking about anything fucking real. So TikTok has this ability to like keep things as real. It's really an interesting social media application. It's really interesting. It's the first one I've ever seen, Kelly, where it actually encourages like average people to be content creators. Like a lot of average people that are creating content and getting thousands of views. It's really interesting. Whereas like YouTube, unless you're a serious content creator, no one really has a YouTube channel.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that social media, Facebook, all that is this megaphone that we're talking about, where the loudest people on earth can get on there and state their opinions and shit. And they're not censored. It's all the same opinion, and it's manufactured that way. But if we were all out in a field together, they would be by far the minority, and they would put their megaphone down pretty fucking quick when they realize 100 people are staring at them looking like a maniac, and they'd realize really quickly that most people do not agree with them, do not see eye to eye with them. They just think that they do because they can put it out on Facebook, and no one's going to go on there, for the most part. We're kind of on the peaceful side of history. We're not going to go on there and, hey, fuck you sometimes, but I mean, who's got time for that when we're all trying to build lives and careers and shit like that? But you know what I mean? Like in real life, the megaphone people, they are such a minority. And I think the sooner that we all realize that, everybody, the sooner we can get back to fucking business as a country.
Well, that's why on social media, that's why you can never say it's complete censorship, is because the biggest, and then this goes back to corporations wanting to make money. The biggest like fucking pages that people follow on like Facebook and shit, they're all like conservative, like Sean Hannity and these people. Like, you wonder why. It's like they're the only people that are allowed to speak freely or have this free voice that's not completely censored and watered down from mainstream political bullshit. That Facebook even realizes that there's no way they'll take off all the conservatives or anything like that off of Facebook. But when they get the chance to take off like an Alex Jones or someone like that, oh fuck, they'll do it in a heartbeat.
When's the Democratic Party just going to die off, man? I mean, honestly, like we used to have the Whigs and the Tories and we've had all these parties throughout history. It hasn't always been Republican and Democrat. How the fuck can the Democratic Party survive? Like, nobody on that side, I shouldn't say nobody, but most people that probably don't even fucking pay taxes. It's like, how can you have a legitimate party? And like you said, nobody's following your shit. You're losing hundreds of thousands of followers per day. And that means, thousands and millions and billions of dollars. How the fuck can they survive this long by still promoting this shit?
Their Hail Mary in 2020, and it really was taking place in 2019, was the Trump impeachment trial. That was their Hail Mary. Democrats felt that was the only fucking way they could knock Trump out is the impeachment trial, and then they got gift-wrapped coronavirus, and they used coronavirus to get Trump out of office by making up all these bizarre election laws and shit, where you can just mail in ballots in the middle of the night. And then I'll go back to it. If Biden was up millions of fucking votes, and he was going to win the presidency when you went to bed at night, and then you got up the next morning and Trump had won. Total different reaction.
Oh, dude.
Not even close to the fucking same reaction by the media.
Then you would have seen what a real riot is supposed to look like.
There would have been fucking riots across the entire country for days, weeks.
Fires and shit. There's no fucking way that if that happened that they would let anyone in the White House, because it wouldn't be, you know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be,
Yeah.
you know.
I just think the hypocrisy is so fucking bad. 2016, there was no evidence whatsoever that the election was hacked or rigged or anything, and they're openly could say the election is rigged 24/7. But here, fast forward to 2020, you can't say anything. You can't even talk about it. Just like coronavirus, you can't fucking talk about it. You can't openly talk about it.
To be a Democrat in 2022, you literally have to be mentally ill. There's no other explanation for it. You have to be fucking mentally ill. It's not even. Look up the word transparent. It's not even like transparent. It's beyond that. It's like looking through a window and seeing that there's blue skies outside, and someone says, "Oh no, that's actually a blizzard," and you go, "Oh, yeah, okay, that's a blizzard." I mean, it's so fucking stupid. It's like these guys are like Democrats are like the Stepford Wives now. Even worse. Like it's that bad. I'm not even joking. I'm not trying to make fun of them. I'm just like, these guys are so fucking hypnotized. It's sickening. It's got to be a mental illness. I don't understand it at all.
Well,
No.
I just to say, to play the other side of the coin there, I've seen, definitely that pushed on you. Then I've also seen the other side of the coin, I guess, where the other is like, okay, bro, I agree with you, but it's like, I guess you didn't have to be so fuck you Democrats, this is the, you know how some of those people are. So I think like I said, most of us are in the middle. It's just those outspoken ones, and you get it more from the fucking liberal side. The conservative side is basically bitching about gas price and all this shit. Liberal side bitching about which bathroom they use, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you have a far right and far left. The far left is just so long gone. They're hypnotized, mental illness, Stepford Wives, right? The far right used to look insane, but now the far right pales in comparison to the far left. They're still like annoying. Like I know far right people, and I'm just like, dude, you can't just say that, or you can't just do that, or nah, you're going down a rabbit hole that doesn't exist, you know. But it still pales in comparison to how fucking crazy the far left is. The teeter-totter is not balanced whatsoever between those two sides, in my opinion.
No, it's fucking insanity.
Yeah.
It's complete insanity. The freedom of speech, like, 'cause my biggest thing is freedom of speech. And when you cannot speak, you cannot disagree with a mainstream media narrative. You are not allowed to disagree with that and work in a professional environment like the NFL. You are not allowed to disagree with anything that the mainstream media says, and you're in trouble. That's a fucking pathetic society to live in. You want to live in that society where you can't disagree with this crazy ass narrative?
Well,
Yeah.
when they start diverting the blame, you know, I think one thing I saw the other day, how many kids have been molested at a drag show? 0. How many molested by the Catholic Church clergy or something like that? It's like, okay, you're kind of diverting, you know, onto something else. I mean, drag shows compared to like the fucking Catholic Church, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of, you can't compare the two. So, I mean, you can compare anything you want to make an argument, but unless you don't have a brain, you're just going to look at it like, okay, that's stupid. But some people are like, oh yeah, they do make a good point here. You know?
Oh yeah, they do make a good point, you know. Oh yeah, you know, and then you can't come on a show like this, and this is just us giving our opinion. You can't come on here and say coronavirus is a hoax, which it was. The election of 2020 is rigged. It's like you can't say that shit without getting boycotted off of this fucking platform. It's like, really? That's where I'll be honest with you. I'm thinking about switching the Prison City podcast to Facebook because I think our interaction, everything would be way better, and our views would be way better, and it wouldn't hurt my YouTube channel. Because the idea of this podcast is to freely say stuff If you can't fucking freely say this on the platform you're on, then it's like that Cordell Stewart jersey video, that was what got fucking taken down. I think because part of it, we talked about the election, you might have said it was rigged or something. But I think that was – but yeah, Facebook won't do that within like a pot. It might take a post. But that's why I think going forward, like if we get another one of these podcast episodes flagged or something, I'm probably just going to be like, okay, let's move on to a different platform like Facebook, because the idea is to say whatever the fuck you want to say, not come on here and be like, oh, I can't say the truth about the 2020 election or coronavirus. I better watch what I fucking say.
Well, wouldn't Facebook flag you? Wouldn't Facebook take this down?
They're different algorithms. Facebook's not going into videos, and Facebook has the full unedited version of Prodigy Smack My Bitch Up on their videos. Not edited at all. So Facebook's different. They're different platforms. Facebook, I like it because it would be more interaction, probably more people that you know, but it would be you could stream, you'd have more interaction on comments, and you'd have you wouldn't have to worry about them censoring your stuff or whatever.
Yeah. I guess you might not have Mahoney on the panel anymore if you do that.
I mean, how many times? It's just getting dumb. Like, I should be able to come in and be like, okay, the 2020 election was rigged. Here's my proof. You don't believe me? Okay, coronavirus was a complete fucking hoax. Yes, it is a hoax to shut down an entire fucking country for 99.5% survival rate of a virus. That's a fucking hoax. Like, you should be able to say those things and not have the platform like ban you and shit. It's so fucking annoying.
Even if you're 100% wrong, you should be able to say that shit.
Yeah, it's an opinion. Can you handle a fucking opinion, you stupid fuck? It's like, come on.
Like if you're really 100% wrong that on the two things you just said, why are they so dead set on banning you? Shouldn't people just be able to watch that and go, oh, okay, this guy's full of shit, shut it off? It's like, seems like there might be a little truth in what you're saying because they're so dead set on fucking getting you off their platform, not speaking of these things. It just doesn't make sense to me,
No, it doesn't make sense at all. If I ever get another strike from YouTube, I'm moving the Prison City podcast somewhere else. Because
Facebook wants you to, pretty sure they want you to sit on there and argue with someone. And even if it's on like a Deer Lodge Classifieds post or something, arguing about prison pizza or some stupid shit where you rack up 200 comments or something like that, just people back and forth writing paragraphs and paragraphs of shit. Facebook wants that shit. You look at the outside, kind of like, what do you guys do all day where you can actually sit around and do that? But Facebook, I'm sure they fucking fully welcome it. I mean, I would. Like, you want people. The more people you have on there any given time is the more shit you're selling, the more,
that's what I'm kind of, I don't know. We'll see how things go with this, but I'm just going to say it again overall because I'm tired of the fucking censorship. Well, the election of 2020 was rigged. It was fucking rigged. Coronavirus is a hoax. Take this fucking video down. YouTube, I dare you.
Hey, Facebook is the NFL of social media. Basically, what I'm saying, anything that tries to compete with it always gets shut down. Because if they're the NFL, everything goes back to Facebook eventually.
Yeah. And that's the thing with YouTube versus Facebook. It's like Facebook's dead set on video. So, I don't know. Like I said, the algorithms are way different. It depends more on the title and the description. But now that we've realized pretty quickly that having my Cordell Stewart jersey stolen has nothing to do with the title to YouTube. They went through the actual video and found something to take it down. But yeah, we'll see. I mean,
isn't that crazy?
I know. It's just we'll see. I mean, I want to be on a platform. Maybe we go to Rumble or something else, but I want to be on a platform we can speak freely and not have to like worry about this bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know how quickly or how soon you're ready to round the horses. If not, I gotta go take a leak.
Let's round those horses right now. Actually,
I gotta piss too.
So yeah, we'll go with you first, Matt.
Me? Okay. Yeah, I guess at one point I just wanted to get out there. You look back at my childhood growing up. About 12 years old. 1999 Columbine hit and school shootings. I know we didn't touch on school shootings. But you can go back and look at Columbine, and they got security footage. You have pictures. You have pictures of the two dead bodies, the guys who blew their brains out and stuff. You have all this stuff, which comes from 1999 technology, where hardly anyone had a cell phone, to nowadays where you do have all these school shootings. Don't get me wrong, and the Vegas thing and everything else that's happened, because the debate now is on gun control. But it's just, if you just look at those two things right there, the 1999 to today. Why is there so much more footage back then, but today it's just a little off that there's not more pictures and videos of this thing? And I'm not going to dive into it because we're rounding up.
Oh, 100%.
That's just one thing I wanted to bring up.
Oh, that's it. All right,
Other than that, come to the show, Shawshank. Can't wait.
Yeah, Shawshank Friday night, 7:30 p.m. So let's just do a reverse of this. The 2020 riots were peaceful. That's 100% false statement. Biden won the most secure election in history. That is a fucking 100% false statement. There's no way of proving that. Coronavirus is the biggest pandemic of our lifetime. That's another 100% false statement. But you can come on here and fucking say that. So, like, I'd like to end my piece before I go to Kelly. I let Kelly end the show. Is the 2020 election rigged? Coronavirus is a complete fucking hoax. 25 people dying in riots is not a peaceful protest. And the 2020 January 6th Capitol thing, it was just simply a dust-up. All right, Kelly.
You really are trying to get banned from this stream or YouTube. Yeah, well, we can talk till we're blue in the face about how people are so freaking brainwashed and hypnotized and all this. And, the negative side of it, we all know it frustrates us because it does exist and it is going on right in front of our eyes. But on a positive note, I really do feel like who we're talking about is a minority, a vast minority. I pray that they are. I think that we are the majority. So many people are sitting, 90 out of 100 people or more are sitting around going, this doesn't make any fucking sense. Or just shut the fuck up and live your life, and let us live our lives. I really think the majority is kind of aligned with us and our belief system. I mean, it shows in a lot of polls and stuff, but it's hard to trust anything nowadays because we're literally living in like a metaverse, that's not on the Oculus Quest. We're living in a false reality that's fabricated. It's half the shit out there or more is just fictional. The only thing for sure, as fact or as truth is what's in your own backyard, what's right here in our community. That you could be pretty sure isn't fictional, isn't fabricated, whatever. So it's kind of sad that this is going on. I truly believe it's a Cold War against us right now. But the good news is I think most of us are on the same page, and I think most of us see through all this bullshit. And every day more and more people are swimming over to that side. At least I pray that's what's going on.
Yeah, 100%. 100% there. So anyways, I think I'm going to stream this episode on Facebook tonight, just see what the reaction is. I'm also going to put this on Rumble. I just think the odds of YouTube taking this down, I don't fucking know anymore, but I don't want to mess around with it. I think some of the stuff's calmed down, but a lot of it they're still just nuts about. So, yeah, we'll see. The future of this podcast will continue on some platform, but it may not be YouTube. But again, once again, Shawshank Open 7:30 p.m. guys on Friday, 7:30 p.m. Saturday, and Sunday at 2 p.m. Check it out, Shawshank Redemption at Cutler Brothers Theater. All right, peace out.
See you guys.
Yeah. All right. Oh, it's just me now.